Hi, I'm Claire DeLacy. I'm the Director of Client Services at Dwellworks.
Hi, my name is Catherine Molyneux. I'm the Senior Director for Destination Services in EMEA, focusing on countries in the European region where we have long-standing service delivery, such as Germany, Luxembourg, UK, and in the last few years adding in the likes of Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Norway and France. And of course, we have Ireland as well, which is where Claire and I are based.
We're going to focus on Ireland and share with you insights into Ireland as it is today and how our team are supporting with destination services locally.
Thanks, Claire. Yeah, it's lovely to have the opportunity to speak about Ireland. I think it's probably quite obvious that I am Irish, so always proud to be able to speak about Ireland. I think in terms of what do people know about Ireland, I think there is a huge Irish diaspora all around the world who, love speaking about Ireland. And so there is a lot of information out there, probably people watching this video who know people who have Irish ancestors or, are Irish themselves. So they will have heard a lot of things. Certainly in terms of the country itself and our tourism industry, it is a place that is on so many people's bucket lists to come to Ireland. Our landscape is fantastic, so much to see and do. In terms of our culture, we again are known globally for, as writers, artists, poets, our sports, and certainly our traditions as well, some of which are celebrated, all around the globe. I suppose in terms of what Ireland is like today, I would say that it's definitely a modern country, very diverse, very cosmopolitan, and that goes, for outside Dublin as well. I think there's often a misconception that, Dublin would be the most kind of cosmopolitan place, but certainly, different parts of the country, huge amount of growth in the last number of years and, very different places. But I think what's really important is we've retained the nice welcoming nature of the people, and certainly I think that's feedback we would get from the clients who have relocated here for work purposes.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that. A lot of the feedback I receive from kind of clients is on how welcoming their employees feel when they move to Ireland, which really does help them settle into their new life and their new role here. A lot of the employees that we support with are in the pharma, tech, fintech and finance industry. So we do cover, a multitude of industries. And whilst in the last 19 months, it's been a challenging time for everybody globally, it's also been an exciting time for us in Ireland. We've continued to see a vast amount of corporations expanding in the pharma industry. And we see that their plants are not located only in Dublin, but in other counties through Ireland, such as Louth, Cork, Mayo, Clare and Limerick. And also Ireland has become the #1 location for US tech companies who choose Dublin as their primary location, along with fintech and sport tech companies. And since Brexit, we've also seen an expansion in the finance sector. So for us, it's great to have the opportunity to be able to support the industries throughout Ireland through our local consultants who are supporting with relocation services nationwide.
Yeah. And I think, Claire, something that people would probably like to hear about is, one of the things we get asked a lot about is home finding and the market and the property market in Ireland. So I think it's something that we can give a little bit of information about as well.
Yeah, and I think due to what everybody reads about the supply and demand in the Irish rental market being at an all-time low, it does cause people concern when they're relocating here. But through our long-standing relationships with the local letting agents, we speak to them on a regular basis. I had 2 calls there with 2 of the large letting agents, and both of them have in total 600 properties in different developments coming onto the market at the end of Q4 into Q1. So there is supply, it just refreshes very quickly. But our consultants, we know they speak with the local agents, their local contacts to help kind of source options that meet the requirements for people moving here.
And I think probably something that people would like to know about is the types of properties, you know, that we see. So I think certainly for the Dublin region and more of the kind of larger cities, it would be a majority of apartment type properties. You know, that would be the general. Usually around a 2-bed is more common. 1-beds weren't kind of frequently developed in you know, a lot of the larger developments in any of the locations. So more commonly you would see a 2-bed, which is, you know, fantastic for a little bit of extra space, or, you know, the option there for sharing either, you know, which we see quite a lot with some of our clients who are moving over. I think in terms of the availability that you've spoken about, I think one of the key things in terms of how to be prepared for the home search, because again, that's something we get asked about frequently, would be preparation of documents in advance of moving over. So having things like any previous references that you have available, and your local consultant will give lots of information about that and support in terms of getting that together. But certainly I think that's one of the key things to have prepared, you know, prior to starting the home search process, and is a huge help.
Yeah, and I think also the flexibility in terms of people's requirements. You know, yourselves, you hear constantly from everybody they want to live in Dublin 2, Dublin 4, but, you know, there's some fantastic areas that are further outside of Dublin or either surrounding counties of Dublin, where, you know, they'll get a larger property for a lesser rent.
Yeah, definitely the flexibility is key, 100%. I think the final thing, I suppose, in terms of easy reference points for preparation for the home search, I would say would be quick decision making and having funds available at the time. So quite importantly, in the Irish market, a deposit is required to be paid immediately once a property has been you know, agreed and secured for the individual. So having that availability of funds ready once, you know, all the agreements have been made is really important. And even just the ability to make a quick decision, because we see properties, you know, coming on the market and going off again within, you know, a few days of turnaround. So seeing something that you like and making that decision on it really quickly is, while it's challenging, it's you know, it's hugely beneficial in the market that we're in right now in Dublin, but, you know, nationwide as well. So I think there are lots of as you said earlier, Claire, negative things in the media around the market. But I think when you're well prepared and you have the flexibility in mind, and I think when you are ready to move on something that you like, you know, I think, and I know we are seeing it in terms of the success that we're achieving with securing properties for those who we are helping to relocate. So it's a challenging market, but there's, you know, definitely lots of opportunities there in it.
Thanks, Catherine. Some great insights there into the home search and the housing market in Ireland. We do also offer a full suite of destination services and corporate housing solutions in Ireland as well.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for taking the time to watch our video today. I hope it's been helpful, and please check out the information that follows.